What's going on, Nick?
Hey, Zach, how's it
We're
going?
back again.
We are back.
Back again.
Right.
Crazy week. Crazy week.
It's been an amazing week.
It's been a good week.
Yeah, it's been a great week, and I'm very excited. Uh, I'm always pretty pumped up on Fridays because I get to share all the details with the community and maybe folks who are not yet in the community and bring them onto our community and give a complete update. So I'm really excited.
You're always. I don't know. I need to learn from you how your chipper mood is. It must be chais that give you all that serotonin in life. But I need to learn from you, my Mr. Miyagi. But yeah, no, crazy was a bad word choice. Crazy. It was hectic. We were on our toes. We got a lot done. We have a lot to share, and I think I'll leave you to it. I'll be flagging all of the comments and questions in chat, so get them going. And then also, if you're in Discord and rather text in there, at me in the Discord in questions. And at the end, we'll start talking some questions with Nick. Okay. So I will see myself out, and I will see you in a little bit.
All right. Let me add my my slideshow to the stage here. Boom. There we go. All right, everybody. It is season 1, episode 8 of the Vitruveo DAOnload. It's November 3rd, 2023. I'm Nick Kalyani, the project lead. I'm very, very excited to come here today and present this to you. But before I get started, a couple of things. One is my friends in the YouTuber community, Chris Cruz and others, taught me that Friday is you wear red in order to show respect to the service members. So here I am in my red. And also, I would be remiss if I did not mention how my heart goes out to all the innocents whose lives have been lost in the Israeli-Palestine conflict. Feel for them. And not much we can do from afar other than, at least in the United States, talk to your senators and your Congress people, etc., about how you feel and what you want to do about that. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. So let's get started with our show here. I have, as always, a jam-packed agenda. We start off with our council updates. We go through some financial updates, and then there's a bunch of different topics, all sort of hinging around Mainnet. So we had our Mainnet launch, and things are going very well on that front. And we also had our booster sale launch, and things are going very well on that front too. So can't wait to tell you about it. All right, but let's kick things off here with our council updates first. So first up in the strategy council, we've got Alex speaking at the Build Peace conference, which is a confluence of sort of how technology and art can influence peace at a conference in Kenya in December. That's sort of queued up here. Also, a speaking opportunity has come up at WIPO. We'll take that on. And finally, we are working on some partnership CRM tools, etc., because we intend to have lots of partners. And if you have a lot of partners and you don't have a system to track where they are, who's had the last meeting, what the opportunity is, and what are some of the events we can partner on, etc., it gets pretty chaotic pretty quickly. So we're building a nice little partnership system along with a CRM to track all of that stuff. On the marketing council, the big news is the booster sale and all the promotion going around that. You probably noticed on our social media, there's a lot of activity around that. There's the token art and animations were created. We've got launch videos, and there is hype and educational content building up across platforms. Now, folks, this is sort of a planned approach to it. We are first starting with our community, and then we are going to grow outward to other communities. So in fact, that's the third bullet there. We are working on finalizing the conversations with a couple of PR firms, and you're going to see some significant outreach to other communities. But we first wanted to start with our own community. There's also a couple of Medium articles that you ought to check out. And my deck always ends in the last slide with a link to the deck, so you can find these links there. But we've published articles about Vitruveo and how we are revolutionizing the ecosystem for creators. I hope you'll follow us on Medium. Please follow us on every platform as the community we rely on your support to essentially elevate our social media posts, etc. So this is a great post here that tells you pretty much everything that you need to know about Vitruveo, and it specifically goes into details around the economics of it, what our revenue model is, and things like that. And the other article is a look at the next 30 to 60 days of what to expect. And you're going to hear more details of that right here. But these are some great articles we've got out there right now. All right. Next up is the Creator Council. So and I have been spending a lot of time meeting here along with others on the team to finalize the onboarding process for creators. Our goal is to get to 2,500 creators in December. We call them sort of the Genesis artists, if you will. And as part of that, we've been brainstorming and wireframing, which I hope to show you next week. At the next Friday, I can show you the wireframes for some of these products. So MVP stands for Minimum Viable Product. And so we are creating what would be the first versions of Vitru Studio, which is the app that artists would use to essentially onboard into our ecosystem and consign their artwork to Vitruveo. Vitru Store is where you can surface those artworks and buy them. And Vitru Stream finally is our solution to allow streaming of artwork to various different platforms. We'll start small with one platform and then we'll grow from there. We are talking about how we can use our tokens to incentivize creators to onboard, what our budget will be around that campaign, and also what benefits we can sort of enumerate for the Genesis artists to make them all excited to get on here. If you've been watching Twitter, if you've been following me on Twitter, you can see that there's already palpable excitement about Vitruveo among the artist community, and super excited about that. So we can get all these creators onboarded here and really start executing on our business plan and on our revenue model. We are also forming some alliances for in real life pop-up exhibitions. So we'll do more structured exhibitions down the road, but right now we want to do some impromptu exhibitions, and perhaps that can be a benefit for some of our Genesis artists also. So these would be exhibitions that don't take a lot of time, money, planning, etc. You can do a quick exhibition. So you saw what we did in Sao Paulo. That was well executed, but we can do things probably not at that scale. That was a big one. Slightly smaller than that in other countries. One of the first conversations we are having right now is with a few folks in Asia. So you might see that coming up very, very shortly. All right. Ecosystem Council, Zach and crew are currently conducting a vote about whether the community wants sort of over-the-counter exchange of Vitrus right now. So folks who want to sort of get out can do that. If I'm not mistaken, the vote was around 180 or so. Maybe I'm a little wrong about that, but it was definitely above 100 in there. There's also another vote going on Senate nominations. So as you know, we are transitioning now into a DAO, an NDAO specifically. So we've got the structure in place. We've got the council leads, the 5 council leads in place. We've got a governance charter in place. And in that governance charter and in the structure, the main deliberating body, if you will, which has the primary assigning authority on capital and on votes, etc., is the Senate. Now, the Senate consists of the 5 council leads, which is a strategy, technology, marketing, creator, and ecosystem, and 4 community leads. Of those 4, 2 are in place. One is a representative from the YouTuber community, and one is the validator team lead. So what we are doing now is calling for nominations. So you can nominate yourself, or you can nominate someone else in the community for this election. And we'll look at all those nominations, and we'll put together a slate and have an election where you'll be able to vote for the 2 community representatives who will be on the Senate. Now, this is a really, really important responsibility. And those of you, especially those of you who would like to have more sort of financial oversight, this is it. You want financial oversight, you step up and nominate or yourself, or have others nominate you to get into this role. Because based on the charter, the Senate is the ones making a lot of the high-level decisions around spending, etc., after the community has voted on bigger decisions. So if you want to know more about the project and you want to have more of a voice, then nominate yourself or ask others to nominate you. Now, this community rep position is a rotating one. We want to give lots of people the opportunity to be in this role. So it's a 90-day seat. It rotates, and we have elections and get new reps in place. So the ecosystem council has also installed rather a new questions and ideas flagging system. So later on in the Q&A section, Zach can come and tell you more about that, because we are specifically going to address your questions here. And finally, we have until November 15th as committed in our plan to identify and finalize the BTC sacrifice users. So we are working on the mechanism for that, and that is coming up. It might be today, it might be pushed into tomorrow also, but we're trying our best to get it in there today. All right, let's go into the next topic here, which is financial update. Now, I'll start off by saying that October was the month where we had a huge number of deliverables. We got Mainnet launched, and we also launched the booster sale. So October was an outlier from a spending perspective. Our spending was much higher than typical months in October, because we just had to have additional resources in order to get these two main things done. So also in October, we had prior pending costs that we had to, pending liabilities rather, that we had to take care of. So we took care of that. So basically our salaries that we had pending was 9,500, and we had 29,500 in the last period. Now, what I like to do in this here is to present these numbers to you. And as I said, at the end of my deck is a link, so you can go back and study these numbers, do the math, whatever, etc., and then ask questions. But the main costs here were the one-time expenses on the bottom two rows, which is we had Mainnet and Booster app divided into two parts, into two tranches, if you will, and so we paid off those. So the goal here was to essentially wipe the slate on all prior spending, which we've done now. And now moving forward, we are going to go according to the DAO governance charter. We're going to follow those rules. And that is why it's ultra important that we get these two community reps in place and we have the Senate formed, so that we can have signing authority, etc., before the 15th. So the 15th is when we have the next payroll. So I want to make sure that the full Senate, the 9-member Senate, is in place at that time, and we activate the protocols for spending starting that day and moving forward. I'll just let you know that there is one possible outlier cost that might come up between now and then, and it is mission critical. So, and that is related to the PR firm. As I said, we are working with the PR firms on the program, in order to get the word out to other communities. We don't have the final budget on that, the final cost on that yet. But once we have the invoice on that and the proposal, we'll submit it to the current signing team, and they can review it and they can potentially approve it. So that's the only outlier I envision between now and November 15th that would be outside the protocol that I've talked about. And that is to benefit us. It's for the boosters sales, and it is only going to benefit us. And we could wait until the 15th, but it doesn't make sense to lose 10 days when we could have people promoting the project in that space. All right, the next one is Mainnet RC1 and all the activities around it. So until now, in all the downloads, I've been presenting sort of a detailed phase activities matrix, if you will. That was for phase 1. So I'm going to go ahead and call phase 1 ready, and it's a done deal. So I have this ready, set, go thing, right? So we're going to transition into phase 2 starting next week. I'll present a detailed plan for it, just like I've done with phase 1, with lots of different activities. And then as the weeks progress, you'll see them getting checked off into green. But right now, we are still working on Mainnet RC1 activities. So let me update you on that. So our Mainnet RC1 went active the week of October 22, right on schedule. Booster sale also began a little bit late. We had a few technical hiccups, but we were able to resolve from there. And it is it is currently active. Now, what we are leading toward now, what we are working towards, is these things that are happening on November 15th. So there are two major goals there. Sorry, three major goals there. The first one, as I mentioned, is we'll get the BTC holder issues all resolved by then, done, finalized. The next one is we're going to launch our POET DApp. So POET stands for Proof of Engagement Token. That's our app to start issuing NFTs and tokens for various activities that may occur, not only within our ecosystem, but well outside it also, because it's open and available to everybody. And finally, what we'll do is start loading up the data that we have around OG holdings and validator holdings into an app and allow you the ability to view and merge it. But since we proposed this idea, there's been some good discourse going on in the community, and based upon that, we have come up with a new idea. And so I would like to talk about that a little bit. But before that, let me see if I'm supposed to get an update on one thing. Let me check on that update real quick and make sure that it's there before I commit to demoing it to you. All right, it is there. All right. So what I'd like to show you now is an update, which I'm very, very excited to talk about. So as you know, we launched the booster sale. Let's go to our booster page. So here we are. This is the current status. So we have 454,750. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough, all the members of the community. You've stepped up, and really, this has been amazing. So what you're seeing here is this new link, My Boosters. So let's go to it and figure out what happens there. So I haven't connected my wallet yet. So I'm going to go ahead and connect my wallet. That's the wrong wallet that's coming up. Let me disable that one because I do not want that one. Let's just, I'm going to remove that for now. So MetaMask comes up. All right, let's retry now. I may have to reload the page. Sorry about that. I have Token Pocket installed so I can review accounts without having the private key. There we go. There's MetaMask. So we connect. Next. Connect. Boom. All right. So now it's connected on Ethereum. And here, this is what's exciting. Look, you can switch networks. And you have Ethereum, BSC, and Vitruveo. So I never added Vitruveo to my MetaMask, but it offers to do that automatically. And I've zoomed in my page. That's why the buttons are not visible. Go ahead and approve that, switch the network, and now I'm connected to the Vitruveo network. So you don't need to type anything. You don't need to do anything. You go to this page, and you'll be able to connect to Vitruveo. And now this is the new feature, My Booster. So let's see there what's happening. We should be able to load that up. I'm not sure if everyone is seeing this, but it's probably, oh, there we go. Just took a little bit to load, but there you go. You can see your boosters. So I purchased 2 of them the other day, and you can see your boosters. So this is all on-chain, all live. You can see how many boosters you purchased. We just got this feature out. It's probably not fully optimized, so it might take a little bit to load like it did for me, but this is a great way. So all you got to do is go to the page, and you can see all the boosters you purchased. So my hats off to the tech team at Prabhu. This is a fantastic feature, and I'm really glad to be able to see our NFTs on our DApp running on our blockchain. So this is great. All right, so that's that. And let's get back here. Okay, next up, I want to talk a little bit about the schedule, just to remind everyone. I talked about this last week, but I want to talk about it again. We want to talk about trustlessness, right? So right now we have our 2 validators on mainnet, and we have the protocol team, which is us, essentially managing all of it. We are going to work on making sure that all the assigned Vitru tokens, etc., are correctly in everyone's account. But on December 1, that's when we do the airdrop for the Nexus NFT, and that's when you have, just like the NFTs I was showing you, you have a Nexus NFT that represents your token ownership, your vesting schedule, your perks, your revenue share, your governance rights in the DAO, and all of that. So after that, we plan on starting to onboard external validators. So any external validator can look at the data, verify for themselves that it is in fact accurate before they sign on. And so that's the plan. Now, I have some exciting news for you. So what I'd like to do is introduce you to a new dApp that has come out about because the community asked for it. So you ask and we respond. So I've already talked about merging your tokens, your wallets across tokens, but we have something even better. I'm pleased to introduce to you the Swapper dApp. So the Swapper dApp is something that allows you to do three possible things. The first thing it will do is it'll allow you to transfer your OG allocation and your validator unlocked allocations to any one existing OG wallet. So if you have multiple wallets, you can merge them all together by transferring your allocation from one to the other. So that's the transfer feature you see at the top right. Next, you can list all of your OG allocation for a certain price in BUSD or USDT. It's a stable coin. So you list your whole bag, as you call it, and say, I'm willing to sell my bag of X number of tokens for whatever it is, $200, $500, whatever it is. And that then in the Swapper app, that listing appears in the offers section at the bottom there, and anyone can go and click the buy button and buy that allocation from your list. And once that happens, your wallet goes away, your wallet, because it'll be zeroed out. So we are not allowing partial sort of sales. You are either selling all of it or none of it. So when you list, you're selling all your current allocation for a fixed price. The person who clicks on the buy button pays that price, the funds get transferred to you, and your allocation and your wallet are now no longer in the system. They won't get a Nexus NFT. They won't get any of it. It's gone. So that's basically how it works. Our goal is to launch this during the week of November 13. We're not going to give an exact date because there might be a little bit of flux here or there based on testing. And this app will stay active until November 29th. It shuts down on November 29th because then we have to airdrop the Nexus NFTs. So you have a short window of time during which you can merge all your accounts, and you can also list and sell and have others buy it. So we are really excited to offer this feature because a lot of people in the community have been asking for it. So it's going to require a bunch of extra work, but we are committed to doing it. All right, time for some chai. All right, moving right along. Next up is an update on the Genesis sneaker. And I said sneaker there deliberately because I wanted to play on the fact that some people think it's going to be one sneaker. It's actually a pair of sneakers, folks. We are not going to give you one sneaker for 1 foot. And we are also going to have a fulfillment process where you'll be able to essentially provide your size and all of that kind of stuff. In fact, my thinking is right now that what we will do is give you a credit, actually, where you then go to the Diverge website and just go through our standard checkout process, except you don't pay anything. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. But we have to coordinate with them and make sure it happens. But rest assured, we're going to create a kick-ass user experience for you. And we are in the final stages of speaking to the artists. Once we've got the deal finalized with them, we'll have them crank out the artworks. It shouldn't take that long, but we want to give the artists a fair bit of time to make sure that they do a good job. And once that artwork is done, and then it's on to Diverge, and our order size just doubled, right, from 250 to 500. So we'll have to check with Diverge what their capabilities are, because they are custom made. There's not like a machine producing, a bunch of them. They do it in a custom way. But let's look at an update and let's identify what we have here. So the BSC winners list has been finalized. The Ethereum winners list has not yet been finalized, and you'll see why in just a moment. So in here, vitru.xyz / sneaker list is the list, and I have it right here. So this is an extract straight from the transaction log. And the way this works is the first few columns all the way to F are straight up data. G and H are calculations. So what we do is we essentially look at the number of let me zoom this in a little bit so it's a little clearer on the video. All right, there we go. So what we do here in column G, the sneaker column, let me highlight that, is we look at the quantity of boosters you've purchased and choose the minimum of the number or 3, because remember it's 3 that we are targeting. And so based upon that, then in column H, we have a running total. And so these are the addresses that are going to get the sneakers, and they're going to get the quantity that's mentioned there. And if we go down here, you will see that this purple divider row, that's the row above that is what is going to get sneakers. That's the BSC. So we have 250 there. And now on the Ethereum front, here we go. Same deal, except we still have capacity. We are at 132 here, and it's not all gone. So if you fancy yourself a sneaker, an Ethereum booster transaction will do the trick. You'll get it right away. So that is something that is of note. We're going to monitor this situation and decide what to do on how to handle it by Monday. So basically, you've got the weekend to figure out if you want to do an Ethereum transaction. And after that, we're not sure yet what we'll do, but we'll do something about it because we don't want to keep it open indefinitely. So that's the update on the sneaker situation. And congratulations to all of these folks. So not to worry. We're going to have a page where you'll be able to essentially claim your sneakers. And like I said, we are working with Diverge right now and the artists, etc. So please be patient. This is a physical custom good. Can't snap our fingers and get it to you. You've won it. You've earned it. Great. Give us a little bit of time now to handle the fulfillment, and we'll get your sneakers to you. So congratulations again. I'm really, really excited. Go grab this spreadsheet again. It's vitru.xyz / sneaker-list, and find your address in there and see if you qualify. All right. Next up, we want to talk about liquidity scenarios. But before that, I want to check in and see if there's a special guest I have today. Let's see if they are on here yet. They're not on yet, but I'll keep an eye out for them. All right. So this is a topic that is really, really important to all of you. I've had countless questions about it in the past few weeks and even months now. And so I wanted to make sure that I show you, I lead you through the thinking process on how we think about the liquidity and the price. But before we start a new topic, it's time for chai. All right, let's do this. All right, so first, we talk about the constraints. So here's the thing, folks. It's important to understand that if this blockchain is going to succeed in its business objectives, it is necessary for there to be resources, human resources, capital resources, and those human resources are building things, promoting things, and planning things, etc., in order to execute. That costs money. It's just that simple. I mean, I know a few people in the Discord say, oh, why can't everyone volunteer? Well, find me a person who is highly qualified, who has the knowledge and experience to execute on something like this, that is willing to work for 50, 60 hours for free. Bring them, bring their resume, bring them. If it's you, come on over. We'd love to have you work for free. But that's not how it works in the real world. People who are professionals at what they do, they get paid. It's that simple. So we estimate that in order to achieve the plan that we have set out, it's going to be a burn rate of roughly about 150K a month. That's what we need. But that's actually on the lower end of things. We have a higher burn rate, which would allow us to actually maximally execute on the business plan. But let's say that 150K is the floor. And let's assume a 12-month runway. So that's a constraint we have also. We don't want to assume a very short runway. It's going to take a little bit of time to execute on this. So we have a 12-month runway. Then we're going to have wrapped Vitru, since currently no exchange can handle rebases. So there is not going to be a scenario where Vitru as a coin is going to appear directly on an exchange, at least right away. Maybe in the future, we will work with exchanges and we can figure out how we can handle rebases. The main problem is, and just to be clear, right, on a centralized exchange, it's not your private key, right? You have a username and a password, and the exchange has all your crypto. It's pretty much you're at their mercy. So the Vitru that's there, the rebases that occur, you would never get them on a centralized exchange unless the exchange was benevolent and said, oh yeah, we're going to give our users the rebases. I don't know exchanges to be benevolent. They're not. They're going to keep those rebases. So it is in everyone's interest to make sure that we don't have Vitru listed natively on an exchange unless there's a protocol in place to have the rebases go to the users, because otherwise you're not getting the rebases. So that's the main reason why we cannot do it. And so we'll have wrapped Vitru. So with wrapped Vitru, what's cool is rebases are not in the equation anymore. When you buy or sell Vitru on an exchange, you get it and you pop back in and into a non-custodial wallet, and you've got your rebases. So it works very well that way. So we estimate that listing plus liquidity, the constraint, the floor is around 500K. And I'm calling it W Vitru for right now. We probably might change the name on that. So don't think of W Vitru as the symbol and all of that. It's not. It's just a placeholder for right now. And then we estimate about 250K listing plus liquidity for Vitro, which is the DEX token. So that's also coming. It's just later in the schedule here of things that are occurring in the next couple months. All right. So what I've done is, as I promised, I have created 4 scenarios for liquidity. Let's look at each of them and understand how they work. So the scenario 1 is where we get to $2 million in booster sales. So currently we are a quarter of the way there. So there's some work to be done, but we have the next month to achieve that goal. So if we do that, then we would be at a monthly burn that is below our floor. So we would be unable to execute on all the plans. We would have to greatly cut back our ideas and our vision for what we want to do, but it's workable. We can get something done and get the 12-month runway. The Vitru liquidity put at a 250K, the base, and the Vitru liquidity at 550K, the base. So if we do this model, we would arrive at a price target of $2. Now, we can't have a price target below $1.50. It doesn't make sense. We are selling boosters at $1.50 right now. It doesn't make sense to immediately go and list at a price below that. Then that's not palatable by most people. So that gives us a market cap of $120 million. So that's the first scenario. If we don't achieve our full goal and our constraint, even the $2 million, we still have ways to go, right? We are 25% there. We have to get to the 2 million. But this is a viable first scenario. The next scenario is if we get to $3 million. All right. So now we can move our green column to the right one and get to the monthly burn of 150K. And the Vitru liquidity stays the same. Basically, you'll see in this model, what I'm doing is the burn funds are deducted from the overall, and then the remaining gets put into the Vitru liquidity. That's basically how it works, along with a little bit into the Vitru liquidity. So the Vitru liquidity goes up by 50K each column as we go. So 150 becomes viable. If you look the column on the right, the 2 columns, they're not viable, right? Because the price target will be $1. It won't be matched. And the price target at a 250K burn rate is impossible. We don't have enough money to support that. So if we raise 3 million, then we have a a model where we can have a burn rate of 150K, 12-month runway, and a $3 price, which gives us a market cap of $180 million. All right. Next scenario, if we get to $4 million, now we had a monthly burn of 200K. We can achieve that. And we've got Vitru liquidity at 1.25 million. And then we can target a $4 price. So as you can see, the price is almost exactly tracking the $1 million raise price. So each million, we increase the price by $1. And so the market cap is at 240 million. And last, if we can achieve our stretch goal, which is $5 million, then that's the best outcome where we can actually execute on every one of our goals efficiently, put this capital to use to really, really, really grow things, expedite things very well. And then we would be tracking a price target of $5. And if you remember way back in July 20th, when I first presented the strategic plan, that was the target I had in mind, $5. So this is how we get to that target, is if we can get our get to $5 million, we can get to the scenario where we have a $300 million market cap, a price target of $5, and really the ability to execute and kick ass. So now, what is it going to take to make, this price sustainable? Because it's one thing about planning liquidity and all of that for a certain price. I'm not interested in really just having a listing done, liquidity there, and having token listed there, and the price dies, right? We want to be able to grow that price. So what are the factors that go into it? Well, there are 4 factors as I see them. There is economic activity. So what is the economic activity that our blockchain can generate that essentially gets people excited? Because when you have a protocol that's generating economic activity, it gets the attention of people. Now, we can't control that. We can't control how much people spend, how much collectors spend on art, etc. But what we can control is the creator activity. So that we can control. We can essentially create programs, campaigns, marketing, etc., to incentivize creators. And when they are on here and they are creating amazing artworks, etc., it impacts the economic activity. So we do have, so the horizontal axis is things we can control. So creator activity is one thing we can control. The other thing we can control is ecosystem partners, right? By getting the right partners into the mix who help us get more transactions on there, get more eyeballs in here, we impact the economic activity. So that's our indirect way. So we have creator activity and we have ecosystem partners, and both of them together influence the economic activity. The last thing we can control in here is the broader crypto market. We are part of we are just along for the ride there. So we can control that, right? But those other 3 things, we can indirectly control them. And the whole liquidity scenario, the price of the token, etc., is all impacted by this. So if you're thinking, for example, I know if you're like, if you haven't participated in building a startup from ground up to the point where you have customers, to the point you have revenue, to the point you're scaling up, you don't think about the capital requirements, right? You're like, just put everything into liquidity and be done with it. Well, if we don't build things, we don't market this, etc., which requires capital, it doesn't happen for free, then that token is going to perish. We don't want that to happen. We want it to thrive in a big way. And so creator activity, economic activity, and ecosystem partners are a key to doing that. And speaking of ecosystem partners, let's dive into a new partner right here. I'm pleased to talk about a new partner here today. So one of the things I want to do is, when we get to mainnet, I want to make sure that we have got at least 10 committed partners that are a mix of really well-established firms or entities, organizations, whatever you want to call them, and maybe some startups that are coming for the first time onto our platform and growing along with us. 10 is the baseline, 20 is the stretch goal. So we really want to get to 20. So today, what I want to do is introduce you to a new partner called Soless. So Soless is essentially taking the Robinhood empowered retail investors and giving them the ability to invest in futures very swiftly. And they've been doing very well. They've got 100,000 plus transactions, 85,000 plus active users, 1,000 plus transactions. And today I'm pleased to welcome Sangeeta Dey, who's the founder here. Hi, Sangeeta, how are you? You're muted.
Hey, Nick. Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you for inviting me. I'm doing good. How's it going?
Very, very good. Where are you right now?
I'm in Denver.
Denver. All right, cool. All right, so Sangeeta, tell us a little bit about Soless. How did it get started? What's your background? Lay it on for us, please.
Yeah, sure. So I've been into, have hands my in different kind of genres. So I started as a tech person, but then moved into more fintech. So I have been into trading, hedging, and then moved into payments, and then quit my job and decided to do something that can be solved. So while I was doing a lot of hedging, now I realized one thing is like futures or derivatives very much dominated by whales and institutions. And if you see all the exchanges, right, today, if also like crypto exchanges, I'm specifically talking about, all of them look same. All of them are very complicated. So if I am not a future trader, I'm not a whale, if I have to get started, I have to go for a 10 20 different lessons. I have to watch like 100 of YouTube videos and whatnot. And I literally was talking to one person yesterday, and he was doing a trading in some exchange using leverage, which is very risky, and but was asking me, what is margin? Can you tell me what is margin? And I was like, okay, so you don't even know what is margin, and you are using a very, very risky tool to trade. So that's what happens if you are a beginner. I mean, you might be a spot trader for a very long time, but if we are transitioning to futures, it's a very, very big jump. And that's where there was a problem that we identified, and we thought, like, why don't we solve it? All the exchanges are addressing big whales, institutions. Why don't we make it a B2C kind of thing where people can easily come on board and can trade and can have fun? And if you see also the demographic of crypto, like a lot of crypto owners or traders are these young people, right? And they want to have fun, they like to flaunt and all those things. So with that note, we started two products. So first, we thought, like, the basis of anything in trading is to be able to speculate the price correctly of any asset. And that's what we started, price action trading, which we have live right now. And so you go and you are actually predicting what's the price looks like. There's numerous TikTok like video where you can actually watch the news, you can read the news, make your decisions. But at the same time, whenever there are people who are trading and they are getting good ROIs, we give them different kind of badges. So if you get an excellent badge, you can actually create your own video in the app and influence other community how to trade. So and you can make money out of it. So right, so we created an ecosystem for this young flamboyant crypto traders who are either entering into the trading or who are mastering in the trading too. So our current, if I have to give you a breakdown of our users, we have a huge number of users from 18 to 24. And to our surprise, we have a huge number of users from age group of 35 to 42. So, and the demographic is really like, lot of users from Southeast Asia, Africa, India. So these are the demographic we have a lot of users for. So that's what we have been solving for. And our next product, which we are bringing, it's more about, so now you have learned the price action trading. So you know how to speculate, how to read the news and make a prediction. And then now you take long and short positions in different asset. And that's also, we are building it very low risk. So you don't have to deal with the stop loss. You don't have to deal with margin. You don't have these risky tools of leverage. And the platform is intuitive enough to protect you. Of course, you're not going to make a 10x, 20x kind of profit, but you are also not going to make a 10x, 20x kind of loss. So that's what we are building so far. It's been 5-6 months that we have been building. We are more Web 2 at this point, and that's why we understand the importance of blockchain and bringing the transparency to our users. And Nick, when we were talking about it, and that's what, because you guys are also focusing on creator economy and there's a trading element, and that perfectly matches what we are doing. And so it will be very happy to build, Soless on this new blockchain, which is really geared for creators. So looking forward
Yeah,
to
I'd
it.
like to talk about that a bit more. But first, can we have a look at it? Can you share your screen and show us what the app looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me
Yeah,
just
there's
pull it
a
up.
so you need to add your screen there. There we go. Perfect.
Yep.
Great.
So let me just log in. All right. So the moment you log in, I was talking to you guys about the TikTok Lite video, right? So this is what our in-app video where you can actually create content and influence others and can make money out of it. Then you go to markets, right? And so these are the assets we have listed right now. So suppose you go to Bitcoin. So basically you are doing a prediction of price here. Will Bitcoin have, will be less than 29,000, or it will go up, or it will be in a range. You select the range, right? Very
Can you
simple.
zoom in? Just zoom in a little bit. So it's there. We go. Thank you. Perfect.
Yep. So very simple app. You buy, your order is placed. One second, just, yep. Then you can go to portfolio screen where you can see all your portfolios, wherever you have invested so far. And you can actually, sorry, one second, you can actually also view, like, so I have made a loss of like ROI of negative 171. So I'm pretty much not doing good. The good part is, where the gamification elements also comes in picture is the leaderboard, right? So every time you get a leaderboard into the leaderboard, you also get different kind of badges and power-ups based on that. So if you look here about badges and power-ups, right? So I have these kind of, so I have an active Solacite badge with me, and that gives me some kind of power-ups. I might be able to, buy a contract little lesser price than others. So there are like different, and you can earn all these badges just by securing higher ROI in the app. And the more higher ROI you get, you earn some kind of more power to trade more. So that's what is live for us right now. Any
Awesome.
question
Thanks for
like
that.
that? Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk about the vector of this into Vitruveo and the creator economy. So we talked about two possible vectors. The first one is where we sort of divvy up the creator ecosystem into slices, so there might be photography, there might be visual artists, there might be AI artists, etc. And we allow people to predict the sales action on each
Correct.
of those, and essentially create what do you call it in Solus? A model?
Now
What's
we are calling each of them as asset. So
okay?
basically,
An asset. All
your
right. So
creativity is an asset.
asset.
Based on
Okay.
that, yeah, and you are predicting on that asset.
Okay. So what we would do is basically allow people to have these and bet on them. That's one. And the
Correct.
other one is individual creators on what their performance might be, and it could be multiple things, right? It could be based on sales. It could be based on exhibitions. It could be maybe it could be based on profit or something like that. Those are the kinds of things. And
Correct.
so what we would do is essentially have the app and put a creator an asset spin on it. That's, to me, hasn't been done anywhere before.
Nope. Nope.
This would be very, very unique and very, very exciting to me, because I feel like for the folks who are not artists themselves, this is a way to essentially connect with what artists are doing, etc., and based upon and do the research,
Right.
and based upon that make money.
Exactly. Exactly. No
Yeah.
one is doing it. And the thing is, every art is an asset in itself, right? Think
Yeah.
of an NFT kind of like. So we also sometimes list NFTs also over here. But now we are doing it in a little different way, where we are saying like, hey, I have an artwork, and then predict like how much volume sales we will have. And the good part is then the users can come and actually present like, I built this, my product is being in demand like this, and they can share a lot of facts about their art, which will create much more awareness in the community and outside the community, and also help the users who are actually trading to bet on these assets correctly. So I think it's a win-win for the traders and the artists both, and it's going to be very innovative approach, to be honest.
Yeah, and Sangeeta, you told me about one feature that really got me excited. It's the feed. You said that essentially the investors, the participants in your app could create a feed, and they could themselves sell art through that feed. Is that right?
That's right. That's correct.
Wow. That's a unique and different way of getting art in the hands of people, especially if you bet that artist is going to succeed. You want to promote them as much as possible. And
exactly.
Yeah, this is great.
And the thing is, whatever is in the feed, you can actually, so the feed also have share buttons. So you can, when you create the feed in the video, you can actually share it through in your Twitter, Instagram, and other channels, and you can promote it there too. So
there we go. So, we talk about how Vitruveo is sort of leaps and bounds beyond what we have in Ethereum, Solana, Tezos, etc., which is basically just static marketplaces. And what we are doing is basically allowing artists to have their art available for selling, not just in one location, but all over the place, and bring buyers from all over the place, especially people who are not yet in Web3. And I see that that's also your focus, right? People who are not yet in Web3 and giving them a gentle introduction to it.
Correct. The whole point we started is because, and we chose go Web2 first and then slowly bring the blockchain component and Web3 is like, there is already fixed kind of users in Web3. And we need, if we really want to scale and bring the value, we have to go to Web2, make them very comfortable, and then bring them slowly to Web3. Right, and that's what we have been doing. So we have a lot of these people who are like, we have a lot of partnership with the universities of Nigeria, India, Indonesia. So these are Web2 people who are coming and trading with us. And now when they like it, it's easy for them, whatever coming underneath is a blockchain or something, as long as the user experience is there and they got a hang of it, they are not going to leave the platform. So I think that purpose, bringing Web2 to Web3, and your purpose and why Soless is also started with the Web2, I think this two aligns together.
That's great. Look forward to that, and look forward to getting more people into futures. So thanks so much for taking the time to show up here today at short notice. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, Sangeeta.
Thank you, Nick. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right, let's continue there. So this is very exciting to have this new partner. Sangeeta, I'm gonna take you off the feed if you don't mind. There we go. Oops, I put you back there. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. So let's move on. The next topic is all about boosters. So I make a point every week to give a broad strokes overview of boosters, because there might be new folks who are on here who have not heard about it, and I want to make sure that they understand what boosters are and why they're there. So let's talk about them. So a booster NFT is a special NFT. It's like a voucher. It has a value claim which can be unlocked when you use it. So using a booster is called boosting, and you can buy a booster with any wallet, and you can use a booster to boost any wallet. And the purpose of the booster is right now is to raise capital for this blockchain to proceed on to next levels. So you can essentially go to booster.vitruveo.xyz and buy a booster. You can buy it with Ethereum or either on the Ethereum network or on the BSC network. And on both, we support stablecoins. So USDC or USDT on Ethereum and BUSD or USDT on BSC. So you click your booster, and as I demonstrated earlier, your booster basically arrives and is present in your Vitruveo blockchain wallet within 24 hours. So here's the, let me just go to the website here and show you. There we go. That's our website. It's booster.vitruveo.xyz, and the links are on our social media, on our website, etc. And so you just buy it right there. All right. What exactly happens when you buy? Well, first of all, we want to make sure that you're aware of some of the incentives that we have. So the first 1,000 with 7+ boosters in a transaction are eligible for a special 5% revenue share pool that we've set aside of all the revenue that Vitruveo gets from asset sales that happen on the platform. So this is platform wide, and this is in perpetuity for forever. As I discussed earlier, the first 250 on each of BSC and Ethereum get a free cool Vitruveo Genesis sneaker. And we also have some goal-oriented milestones where when we hit 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, and 5 million, there are bonus of 5%, 10%, 15, and 20% respectively. But what exactly do you get with a booster? Well, it costs $150. And what you do is you get 100 Vitrus. You get a boost on your existing token. So if you are an existing Vitru holder, your vesting gets boosted by 0.1%. And the tokens you get have a vesting duration of 18 months, but they do come with a perks pool share. So we have a pool of 1.9 million tokens that's available, and it's shared among the boosters. It comes with a revenue share. So there's a 30% revenue share it comes with. And also, once your booster NFT is used up with a boost, you get a cool artwork NFT. So the booster NFTs are something you can hold, you can transfer or boost. But as of December 1, you'll be able to use them to boost. So boosting is the process of essentially activating your NFT, your voucher. And there are two possibilities. When you boost an account, it either has a Nexus NFT in it. So the Nexus NFT is what we are going to airdrop into every OG holder's account on December 1. So either your account has that or it doesn't. So what happens? Well, what happens is the booster, again, it's a voucher, right? It transfers its capabilities to the account you're boosting. And once the boost is done, what you're left with is an artwork NFT. So all the details around this are on our website. They're also in this deck, and you're welcome to read up on it. If the account does not have a Nexus NFT, what we do is we auto airdrop a similar version to Nexus. It's called a Maxim NFT, and it has all these capabilities, except that it cannot be used for voting or anything like that. So that's essentially the Maxim NFT. And you can combine these if you want in an account. You can stack them up to 25 of them to accelerate your vesting further. After 25, you get all the other benefits, except the vesting does not accelerate. All right. So now I want to talk a little bit about the booster incentives, which I talked about briefly. And I want to also highlight a new benefit. So as I mentioned, we have a perks pool of 1.9 million Vitru that will rebase to 9.5 million Vitru in about 5 years. And based upon the number of boosters that are sold, you will have a share of this ever-growing pool of tokens. So you will be able to claim from them your share anytime you want to. And that pool, as I mentioned, does rebase, so it does grow. In addition, you have revenue share. So our model on the Vitruveo blockchain is every artist will consign their artwork to the protocol and create some licenses. And anyone can create an app on our protocol that can consume those licenses. And when that license is consumed, there's a payment that's made that goes into the DAO treasury, and that actually goes into a contract, and that contract splits it up 4 ways. And the buyers of the boosters get 30% of those fees. That's 2% of the sale price, whatever it might be, is our fee. And the boosters get 30% of that. But there's also an additional 5% separate pool for the what we call the early birds. So that's the first 1,000 boosters that buy 7 or more. All right, so that's the early bird. As we've been talking about, there's an exclusive sneaker opportunity for those of you who are in the first 250. So the BSC 250 are done. The Ethereum, we still have about 100 slots remaining there. In addition, if you buy a super booster, then you would be eligible for 1 per $25 spent. And when those are done, we'll still have a few available, a limited number available for purchase directly. That would be $120 each, but there'll be a very limited number. Now that we have doubled the size to 500, we won't be able to do too many of those. All right, there's a referral link. So right there on the website, you can see that there's a referral link option. When you choose that, you can get a link, and if your link is used by someone in order to purchase, both you and them get a 5% bonus. We have some goals on tiers, as I mentioned earlier. 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, and 5 million other tiers, for which there are 5%, 10%, 15%, and 20% bonus tokens. All right, and now we have a new offering. We are pleased to have a daily Genesis sneaker giveaway. So what's going to happen is that on a daily basis, we are going to pick 2 lucky winners every day at random from all the booster buyers. This activity is going to continue for 14 days. It starts today. It started at 8 a.m. EST, and it continues for 2 weeks, so until Friday, 2 weeks from now. And we measure time in UTC from noon UTC to noon UTC the next day. Well, 11:59 p.m. AM the next day. So every 24 hours, we randomly pick 2 folks, and they are awarded 2 sneakers. So that's 28 additional sneakers that we will give away. The winners will be announced regularly on Discord and social media. We are trying to automate that. And so until the first few times, it might be a little manual effort. It's going to take a little bit of time, and we'll get that going. But this is a very, very exciting way to get in on the sneakers if you haven't yet, is to you buy a booster, and you might be eligible for, you might be one of those 2 lucky winners. All right. And let's see. Let's go on to the next thing. I think that was about it. Oh, no, there's one more thing. One more thing. In the Discord, folks have been asking about, is there a way for me to participate at a lower price point than $150? And we thought about that, and I'm very, very pleased to introduce a nano booster. So a nano booster is, so we've got boosters, we've got super boosters. A nano booster is designed for smaller budgets. It costs $10. For $10, you get 7 Vitruveo tokens at a slightly discounted price, $1.43. You can use that to bump up your Vitruveo allocation for rebases. It's only available on Binance Smart Chain. That's how you can pay. But here's the key thing. Unlike a booster and super booster, a nano booster has no vesting acceleration, no perks, or revenue share. It's good for 2 things. It's good for the tokens. So you get 7 Vitruveo. And after the boost is done, there's an artwork there. So we are working on settling the artwork on that also. Also, by buying a nano booster, you become eligible for the daily draw. So the daily Genesis sneaker draw I just talked about, you can participate in that. So that's $10. It'll be available next week. We are testing out the features right now. So sometime next week, we'll have it done. We'll have the artworks in place. And there you go. So that's the nano booster. And I'm very excited because it allows folks who may not be able to participate at the $150 level to come in at a smaller level. Now, you'll immediately notice that, like, well, why don't I just go buy a whole bunch of them? Well, for the simple reason that it's only for the tokens. Once you reach a certain threshold, which is basically 15 of these, it doesn't make sense to buy a nano booster, because you would buy a booster and get all the benefits of vesting, perks, revenue. So the cap on this is probably around 15, although we won't stop anyone from buying more if they want to, but it really doesn't make sense. You would want to buy a booster to avail of all the other benefits. So that's what we have here with the nano booster. And I just want to review the table here real quick with the pricing, etc. So the nano booster is $10. It works out to be $1.43 per token. You get 7 tokens. It's also vested. You get none of the other benefits. Like I said, it's purely for the tokens. Booster is $150. The price is $1.50. You get 100 Vitruveo coins, and you're eligible for vesting acceleration. You're eligible for the perks pool. You're eligible for rev share. And for super boosters, they're at a much higher price point. They're designed for folks who really want the tokens at a larger amount, but they also get the perks pool and the rev share. So that's all about boosters and super boosters, and now nano boosters. All right, I think that was it. Let's get into Q&A here. So we want you to ask your questions in the YouTube chat or in the Discord questions, and Zach's going to come on here and start and help me with some of those. But I'm gonna leave the nano booster screen up here for a little bit so everyone can see that. Zach, what do you think about all the news we shared here?
It's a lot. You do such a comprehensive deep dive every week. And I remember before I was here officially, I spent the weekend after I was introduced to the project watching 8 hours of the downloads. And I made sure to make it a point to tell Ivan and the crew that I was like, he does a really good job of not using jargon and like being very, very thorough. And some of your slide decks are like 50 slides long, and I had to make products out of them. So
I try and communicate properly. So Chris is also here at backstage. Chris, do you mind coming on for a little bit and giving us some of your reaction before we go into Q&A?
Yeah, sure.
How's it going?
Good. Enjoying the nice weather. It got a little warm. It was cold for a while, so we're gonna get cold again. So I'm gonna enjoy it for the next couple of days. But I really like. I like the small things. I had seen this for the first time ever, and you guys will probably be like, it's been out there, but when you were on your MetaMask and you automatically added the blockchain, that feature I think is very, very important because of the fact that I know that I've been in crypto for a little bit, and I still have issues with how to add those things. And if our market's going to be a lot of people that are here for the art and other things, that's going to be very helpful and make life a lot easier for them. And then the whole swapper DApp, that is that's fantastic. That's a really, really good thing because of the fact that just over the last few months, how many questions and how much anxiety is in the community of people that have things with their wallets and wanting to organize it better and all that. This is going to be very helpful for a lot of people, I think. And I thought that was very good. And then Soless, is it what's the name of the company? I kept trying to say
Soless.
it.
Yeah,
Soless. Yeah, I think they're great. So I think it was good. I think it's good information, and I do like the nano booster. I think that gives another avenue for people to to put a little in. Maybe if your budget's not that good and things are tight and you don't want to you can't be in the other boosters, then this gives you another option. And still doesn't mean you run out and buy a bunch of them. And like you said, there is going to be a threshold that you just want to get one of the other boosters if you're going to buy that many, but it's helpful. I think it's good. I liked a lot of it.
Chris, I'm looking at the chat here. You got a lot of fans, man.
Well, yeah. Well, Gus Navarro's, I see his comment. I think that was great. I saw the tweet, and we talked about that the other night on the X Space, so that was cool.
Oh yeah, Gus. So I shout out to Gus if you're there. Yeah, you are there. So yeah. I had a chance to have lunch with Gus, and it was amazing. And we're gonna have chai now soon. Fantastic. I love meeting with members of the community in real life. And Gus, his truck is amazing.
He drove across country in that
amazing truck. I haven't seen his RV yet, but his truck was badass. I'm like, wow, that is something.
He drove across country, like tuning into our lives, and so we had some crazy hours, and he was there. He's like, "Thank God you guys are live. I'll have something to listen to while I'm driving," and it was fun. He did good, but yeah, we got a lot of great.
Appreciate it.
Yep,
I
yep.
appreciate it very much, and I want to be on more. Let's do more X Spaces. Yeah, so I think that's fun.
Yeah, I think actually we're talking about doing a couple this weekend, and then I think that Sunday night we're probably going to do something Sunday night too, and have a special guest that night too. So, that type of stuff. Just trying to chill out and relax and help the community where we can.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
All right,
Chris.
Zach, over to you, sir. Let's get some questions going.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hit this one real quick. This one's to me. Can you please add some type of bot in Discord that we can track booster sales? I can work on that. I'm gonna be working on like price bots and stuff like that too. That's in the works. So
yeah, we have an API, so you can do it.
I can call it. Yeah, I was playing around with the documentation earlier. Nick, what is the strategy for raising the 1.5 million booster sales for the remainder of November?
Well, it's actually 4.5 million. So you want to go to the whole goal. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We have a dual prong strategy. So as I mentioned earlier, our first outreach here has been to our community, right? And now with the PR firms, etc., we're going to go to the broader crypto ecosystems, hit up all the various YouTube communities, the various Discords, all of those. And at the same time, in parallel, I've already started talking to angel and institutional investors. Now, those take a little longer because the closing cycle takes a little longer. But so we'll start our outreach on other communities and start marketing there. I mean, it's a marketing game at the end of the day on the communities. So we'll do that. And on the other end of the spectrum with the angel investors and institutional investors, there's a process you go through. You basically get a warm contact. You meet first of all with an associate or a general partner or someone. You sell them on it. Then they go to another managing partner. If they are convinced, then you do a pitch to the whole firm, and then they they decide. And if they're in, then they're in. And so that process, some firms in crypto move a little faster than others, but I would say that from the time you first talk to the time you actually get capital could be a month, maybe a little less than that. And it's a numbers game. So I would imagine that in the next couple months, I will have talked to roughly 150 to 200 firms. That's basically, it's a numbers game. You just grind it out is what you do. So I've raised capital many times before. It's not the process is the same every single time. So we do that in parallel. So these two fronts are going. There's the broader community individuals, and then there's the institutional, both in parallel. So no rocket science or rocket surgery there, as some people like to say.
It's just a good deck and doing the same pitch over and over and over and over. Yeah, I've done it. It's not fun.
Yeah,
for me at least, it's not my thing. But yeah, it's it's a process. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
How will Vitruveo help fashion designers and fashion illustrators? I haven't heard that one yet. Yeah,
it's a good question. So, well, at the end of the day, we look at different types of creators, and the model is very straightforward. If you have intellectual property that you want to tokenize and make available for others, then our platform is there for you. So if you're a fashion designer and you've got a design that you would like to tokenize for other people to kind of manufacture, then our platform would be for you. So I guess both designers and illustrators, I know they are different, but I don't know the subtleties of the difference between the two. But ultimately, it comes down to IP and being able to license your IP to other folks. So your design is IP, and you would license that out.
Next, will there be an API for devs to interface with the artwork metadata for the marketplace purposes?
Yes, absolutely. There's API for everything, and there's first of all there's the on-chain, which you don't even need an API for. That's directly you use Web3 or Ethers.js or any of the existing libraries that are there. But for the stuff that is potentially stored on IPFS, we would have an API that merges the two and presents it as a common record for you.
All right. Does the DAO 30% of the 2% go towards monthly expenses, or will it?
It goes into the treasury. And so it would be used for anything that the treasury would spend on. And so monthly expenses would be part of it. Yep.
Okay. All right. So I got about 15 more comments to work through here since I was looking at those, but I also have some that were shared in the Discord. Let me pull them up and I'll read them off to you.
I can probably take this off screen now and just answer questions.
Yeah, this was an interesting one. So one member gave me a scenario, and I want to condense it and paraphrase a little bit. So say you bought a booster NFT and you've been using it, you've boosted 10 times, right? And then you decide you want to sell it. Would the tokens that went with the booster NFT go along with that sale? Was the first part of the question. And two, that person would just have access to the remaining boosts and it doesn't reset.
So the premise is slightly incorrect. You can't repeatedly use a booster. It's one and done. So you boost and you're done with that booster. Now, if you have 10 boosters, that's a different story. Yeah. So like I said, the booster is a voucher. It contains a store of value. So until you boost it, that store of value remains in that booster. And when you transfer it to someone, they get that entire store of value. You get nothing when you transfer it. You're done. All of it. The tokens, the perk share, the rev share, all of it moves with that booster. Once you boost, the booster is left with an artwork. It becomes an artwork NFT, and everything is transferred over to the account that you boosted.
Okay. This is a repeat question, but people want to know, I've saw it many times. When can we anticipate the white paper?
Yeah, so sorry, that's been on my plate, and there's just been more and more new priorities. Like, for example, coming up with this, things that the community, more people in the community want, is I prioritize based on that. So things like the nano booster, the swapper app, etc. Those are things that people really, really want, more people than the white paper. So that's why I'll make sure I sit down on this weekend and crank it out. I'll do my best to finish it up, but it might go into Monday.
Okay. When is the full Vitruveo website expected to be ready and launched? And I guess that would be interesting because it's going to be like a living, breathing thing. We'll continue to add new things all the time. But would you say that where we are right now with the information that's out there, we're pretty stand pat, or are we going to be adding a lot more?
Oh no, we'll add a lot, but Zach, as you know, like, we are capital constrained. We don't have like a ton of resources, so we got to do one thing at a time. We have to serialize, and so our priority right now was this booster application and all the sales associated with that. If we focus and say that, okay, team, work on the website now, then what happens? The booster promotions don't happen, and then we lose out on the ability to raise capital. So everything has to be done based upon availability of resources, and both capital and human resources, right? And so we are well aware that we need to create a kick-ass website. It's just, we'll get to it.
Correct. I don't know if you addressed this when we were talking about the nominations earlier, but are these Senate positions going to be paid positions?
No, they are not, because they are essentially, a couple meetings a week. Now, if you happen to be a lead and are on the Senate, which, at this point, 6 people do. Yeah. So you're getting paid because you're a lead there, but you're not getting paid because of the work you do on the Senate. And again, it's like a board of directors, I mean, at some point in the future, we'll probably work out, and the Senate itself will work out some kind of token compensation, and we'll do that. But right now, that is not in the charter. Everything that we do moving forward, go look at the charter. If it's not in there, the answer is no. Someone has to propose, it has to be voted, and it goes into the charter. That's how things work moving forward.
Just like the previous question of that 30% for the DAO treasury, that could be a proposal that we vote on later, and maybe some of that's allocated to Senate members.
Yeah, I mean, you can change that. You cannot take away from what has been previously. Like, for example, the validators have a quota, right? You can't just unilaterally change that. That would not go over very well. But you can certainly flex on other things.
Correct. I saw this one a lot too, about the swapper. And say in a scenario where there is.
Let me take this question off so it's not there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm off screen.
Yeah.
Let me just, it's gone now. Okay, cool. In a scenario where the OTC, there are more sellers that still want out, would there be an opportunity or a way for the project to use funds to buy them out? Is that something that we potentially would be interested in?
No.
Okay. I just see a lot of people asking about that. Let's see. What are our expectations? Which, expectations are tough. For trading volumes for the blockchain day 1, month 1, and month 3, giving the unique insights of the project's growth trajectory. It's kind of hard to predict. But
so, as you probably figured out by now, there's a lot of areas in which, as a leader, I don't have domain expertise, but what I do is get the domain experts in here and have them talk to you about it. So whether it's legal, now this is a question about exchange. So guess what? Once we're listed on exchange, I will have someone from the exchange come on here and answer a bunch of these questions once you've signed a deal. So it will have to wait its turn, but yeah, we'll do that. We will bring the experts on here to answer all those questions, because I certainly am not an expert on all of that.
Me either. Another YouTube one question about Soless. Did you say that they might or may bring trading services to the blockchain?
Not may. I mean, the Soless app, they're going to be a partner, and they are a partner at this point. So Sangeeta and I have talked, and we are going to get the Soless app running on Vitruveo. Yes. So it is a futures platform. So I don't know if they mean trading as in trading crypto or something. That's not what Soless is.
Yeah, it's futures trading. But what would you would you say that you could do futures trading for, say, the Bitcoin price on our network?
Yeah, that's to be decided. That's a component they already have. So I think they might want to keep that. But in addition, in particular, what we want to add is the creator.
Correct. I just wanted to put that out there.
But I don't see any reason why they wouldn't keep the existing component. Look, our laser-like focus is to be the blockchain for creators. But we are still an EVM compatible chain with low gas. If someone wants to bring something that's not creator-centric, we're not going to say no. Please, come on. Like, this is a general purpose blockchain, but we are going to focus on marketing and building on creators, So, but we welcome everybody, everyone who has an EVM compatible product to come on here and launch. We'll support you very much.
So I think I know the answer to this, but I think a lot of people would like to hear you say it. But so say there is someone watching right now that is what you just said, an EVM compatible dApp.
Yep.
How would they go about the process of starting with this?
It's an open blockchain. They do deploy the smart contract and launch your app.
And all of that information is available in our API docs in the in the Explore tabs.
Literally, you there's nothing different other than the rebasing of it, and everything that's different is related to creators. So if you are not interested in that part, you can just launch. Everything related to creators, like the asset base, the creator base, the APIs for that we will publish an SDK, etc., for people who want to consume that information and do things. For example, a good thing is VitruStream, right? You want to build an Apple TV app that consumes, that's a screensaver. Well, we'll give you the API endpoints for it. You can come and get an API key, and off you go. So yeah, But if you just have a DApp and it's working, come deploy it. No different than Ethereum or Avalanche or anything like that. And go. We will have a mechanism for you, Zach, in particular, to give out grants, etc., for folks in terms of tokens, etc., so they can test and onboard, etc. So we will have a formal grants program that dApps can go through if they want to, but they don't have to.
Correct. Tracking. So for the, because there's a lot of people in the community that have been like chatting with me saying, oh, you should check out this wallet, or you should check out this chain or protocol that, is EVM compatible and what they offer. You guys should do something, because a lot of people hang out in other communities and know people in higher places. So if that is you and that is the case and you want to see this ecosystem grow, you can contact me in whatever way you want and get me a warm intro, sit in on some meetings, and we can get that working. I mean, that's one of my biggest priorities here, outside of the communication channels and working my own contacts. But yeah, so for the people who are asking about that, because there are many people who have been, get at me. So I look forward to talking with you. Milk money. So would the Swapper DApp allow us to move our allocations to a different wallet, even if it's in a separate OG wallet? I want to get my allocation to a hard wallet versus the hot wallet it's currently in.
Yeah. So that was not the intent of it, but I can see a lot of people asking about it. Excuse me. So here's the thing. Let's question why you would want to do it right away versus why you wouldn't do it after you have the Nexus token airdrop to you, right? Because once you've got the Nexus token airdrop, you just move it to anything you want. So, but if you were to do it in the Swapper DApp, what we would do is we would essentially also allow you to swap one of the addresses for a new address, because we don't want to add more voting members. That this is it. This current address set is the number of voting members we have, right? And so that's why we don't want to keep adding more addresses. So if we are going to allow this scenario, which I'm not yet sure that there's a use case for it, because literally the next day, not next day, but on December 1, when you get your Nexus NFT, move it wherever you want. It's available to you. So this would be additional dev work with no real ROI for it. But let me think about it. If it's easy enough, we'll potentially say in one transfer operation, move not only the tokens, but also delete the wallet. So we might have a checkbox and say, okay, if you have that checkbox where you're like, delete this wallet and move to a brand new one, that's okay, because the overall count remains constant. So we would allow that. So please let me think about it, and I will get back to you.
It's just coming soon next Friday. We'll talk about it next Friday.
Yeah.
This is along the same lines. Yeah. Kelly, if that didn't answer your questions, please type in chat. I think it's pretty much the same as Milk Money's. Nick, my wallet was compromised because of the hack. Is there going to be some sort of on me as my yeah? So we have he's not a fudder, but yeah, for the incident we had in Discord last week, we had a few people that had compromised wallets.
Yeah, so there's a current survey going on to let us know if you have a wallet compromise, and it's been only a handful of people, right?
Yeah, most of the people went to the site. We made sure that they went to revoke cash to make sure they didn't, they're not on the hook. But since you looked at the contract with us, it was just a one-time stream fee.
I'm talking about something separate. Bender had said that there is a current, basically a form that people can submit if their wallet was compromised, and that has only 8 entries, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. I'll have to get with him.
Yeah, that's the case. We work with each of them individually, directly, manually, and get their wallet swapped out.
Okay.
So
all right, we will.
So if your wallet has been compromised, let's make sure Bender follows up in Discord, on what people need to do, and we'll So I think it's not a help ticket anymore. You need to go through that specific process
Yep.
to let us know, and we'll individually work with all of you to get your wallet, a new wallet set up for you.
In Bug's Life, since I don't know if this is your name on Discord, at me so I know who you are, and we'll get this working out. Okay. This is an interesting one. Will the Swapper app have validators available to buy and sell? Are we going to be able to do that?
The Swapper app is about essentially swapping tokens. So you can merge your validator tokens into from your validator account into your OG account, but we are not putting. There are no more backers. The backers are gone. So only validators. I think that's something that the validator team needs to handle if there's transactions there, because I doubt there's going to be a huge volume of that. And so I think it can be manually handled by the validators team. That would.
Yep. I have been capturing that data. So
Yeah.
of the people who are interested. So if you are, there obviously is a choice for you to do that. Let's see what else we got. Okay. That's not really, I don't know if you can talk to, but Esso, shout out Esso. Is there a story behind the name Soless? Do you know anything about that?
I do not. You'll have to ask Sangeeta, that, but I can ask her to follow up with you, Esso.
Okay.
Nick, I like a lot of the things that we were talking about today, and it kind of goes back to there's so many different avenues, like what we were talking about on the spaces, about how you can take, your CNC templates and, put those and be able to monetize those and everything like that. It's just not, to me, what it's starting to turn out to look like to me is that there's going to be a whole lot more to the system than just art. It's a general, the census of a creator blockchain can be completely outside of the art realm. So
yeah,
I think it's starting to shape up more and more like that. And that's what, when we were talking about that the other night, I was very intrigued by that.
Yeah, there's so many domains of where people are creators, and we want to eventually have everybody. Yeah.
If you want to look through the comments, I'm not seeing, if you want to answer those questions, but it seems like we got some trollers in there.
There's always going to be trollers.
Of course.
They have sad lives. And
Did you see Milk Money's? I started their comment.
Right. That is what I wanted to do. It's one of the wallets, 2 wallets, everything including my exit. Yep. Milk Money, tag me. And we'll go through that process that Nick described with Bender. Make sure you get situated, and that's anyone who's listening. Just tag me and say, hey, I'm this person, and then we'll talk. I think I'm good to check in the Discord. Maybe see if there's any more Discord questions here.
Okay. Did Darwin the Turtle have a question? I see he's got a comment down there. I didn't see. I haven't been paying attention to questions. Oh, he asked. He has. Did that come up? Yeah. Can you ask Nick if the devs are paid per job completed? I think that's the question he was asking.
No, we have devs on a fixed, a fixed monthly retailer.
Is it like milestones, and is that what, or is there?
No, it's a hired team. They do all kinds of tasks. It's
okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing one that's kind of a follow up to that in Discord, asking for them, because you indicated that there was 10,000 to devs. What milestones did they get done in the month of October? Which booster sales?
That has to be the silliest question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, they did a lot this week alone.
Yeah.
So
ANA says he had one up there. Garfield, I see a comment here from Garfield. He's saying, when will the swapper go live?
The week of November 13th. The week of November 13th, not on November 13th. The week of.
Milk my SE, got you.
Did you did you see ANA? ANA said he had a comment above. I don't see it anywhere, but I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the comments too much, but
Are we caught up with token minting? Are all the NFTs out?
I think so. Well, like I said, it's a 24-hour window, so I don't know where in the window it would be. It's an automated process that runs.
Yeah, Kelly. So I'm pretty sure Kelly wasn't listening at the time, and I can tell. But hold on, where is it? I think it was very similar.
oh yeah, I got a bunch. I'd start a bunch of them. Was this the one that he's talking about? Kelly
Yes.
brings up.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was Milk Money's kind of in a way because he wanted to move it to a hard wallet.
Yeah. I in theory, already sort of addressed this. The intent is only existing, but if, like for me, it's not clear why you want to introduce a new wallet at the time of merge when you can do it very easily with your Nexus NFT. The moment you get it, move it to whatever wallet you want, and you're done. So, but again, I'm not saying no to that feature. I'm just saying it's extra development without much ROI.
Oh, and then here's some comments of NR Legend is seeing a bookstore for self-published authors in the Vitruvian blockchain. I think it's a good idea.
I think that's awesome idea. Yes.
Well,
indeed.
considering he's an author, newly released book, I mean, that's right in his wheelhouse. He's and it's a good book too, actually.
Yeah, you told me about it. I want to read it.
Yeah, I don't. I had it here just a minute ago, but
Here.
yeah.
Okay, and then I'm gonna leave it off on a note for all of us gents. Noah says there's some cute hosts, to be honest.
I think that was prior to me getting here.
I mean, some people would categorize you as rugged,
Mm-hmm.
so my friend. But
Oh.
everything that I got, that's everything I got.
That's great.
So we
All
can
right,
wrap
so that's a wrap for another download. Thanks everyone in the community. We've got a ton of work ahead of us, but I am really excited because now we have gone beyond the realm of slides into actual things happening in the real world, and that excites me because now people can do things, etc. They can interact with things, and really exciting times ahead. And as I was mentioning, like the artists are queued up. They're really excited. And Fer and I are working on the onboarding program, and we'll start bringing them on next month. Our goal is, like I said, 2,500 artists. Let's see how things go. The holidays are always a tricky time. You don't know how much people are online and, they're traveling, whatnot. But we'll do our best, and I'm excited about it. I think we should be able to get to our numbers very optimistically. I'm confident about that. So
I don't have a social life. I just work. So Christmas, I'll go see my folks, and that's about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much, guys, and thanks to everyone who came here and watched the stream and asked questions. Really appreciate it, and hope to catch you again on Twitter or in Discord. And let's Vitruveo.
We'll see you next time.